Welcome to Valuu Spotlight, a series where your host Ryan Purvis, joined with a guest, will discuss products that they use in their daily lives.
Firstly, we need to introduce who you are. So on the spot, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jayni. I've joined Valuu as a podcast and marketing manager, and so I'll be editing the podcasts and the videos. And I'm currently still at uni studying media and communications.
I'm very glad to have you. So this is a new segment, the product value review. But the idea behind this is that I often get asked by people what tools to use. In fact, not that I'm sort of the gospel expert, but even in various groups I'm in, people ask, like, what tools do you use for this? What tools do you use for that? So I thought it would be cool to review a tool every week. And I'll be honest, we're going to put affiliate links to this because we need to earn some revenue for our time. But the idea here is we're going to endorse tools that we do use. And we're also going to look at tools that we don't potentially use, but evaluate them as a completely independent party because, we don't have a skin in the game other than the affiliate link. And the affiliate link is really to say, if you thought what we said was useful, click on the link. You don't have, if you buy, great. If you don't buy, it's an affiliate link in the end. So I thought the first one to start off with would be note takers, AI note takers, because I think there's two schools that are definitely coming into play. There's the school of the agent that joins a meeting, and there is the hardware device that you plug into your device or put next to your device to record. And I'm starting to see more and more of these, and I don't have affiliate links for all of them, but it's more a case of what I'm seeing occurring more and more. What does the tool offer at a free tier or a freemium layer? So the two that I really want to talk about is Fathom and Otter.
Yeah.
There are other ones like Firefly.
Yeah.
There's some hardware ones which I haven't explored yet. So my experience started off with Otter, and at the same time, Firefly was coming in from a few people. But I liked Otter for a few reasons. And they offer, I think, 600 minutes on the free tier. I don't know what Firefly offers in comparison. And Fathom's the other one that I quite like. And I think Firefly and Fathom are fairly similar. Fathom doesn't limit you by minutes, but what they do in their freemium is they give you a period of time where they'll give you their full capabilities, and then they basically ramp it down at the end of the trial period. Now, the thing about Otter for me is Otter doesn't seem to have evolved from its original product offering. So what it offered you back in the beginning is pretty much the same today.
Yeah.
Whereas Fathom to me has evolved over time a little bit. And what they've done quite nicely is gamify some of the things. And what do I mean by gamify? Well, they give you points for doing things. They give you points for connecting a HubSpot. They give you points for your first transcript. They give you points for whatever. There's a points thing, and then it's part of the referral system. Otter, in some respects, to me, hasn't done much. In fact, they've almost become very corporate and less fun in what they do. What I liked about Otter, and the reasons why we went with it at the time, it could take audio files and video files out of a Dropbox folder, transcribe them automatically, and put it back in the Dropbox folder. And that was, very useful to me when I started off with podcast because we wanted to do transcripts, and there wasn't a tool at that point in time that did good transcripts. The problem with Otter, unfortunately, is you spend quite a lot of time fixing what it's transcribed, and it doesn't seem to learn very well from what you fixed and detecting speakers and all that kind of stuff. In fact, it's still confused. It still confuses me with somebody else, even though I've flagged this multiple times, and I've ended my commercial relationship with Otter primarily for that reason. The other thing is, the thing that does do well, at least I think it's a good thing, is it joins meetings fairly well.
Yeah, Otter does just join no matter what. It'll have even for my note taker Otter now, it joined before anyone else did. As soon as the call was supposed to start, it was already there.
Yeah, and I think some of the stuff they've done there around the email and the summaries and who has access to it and all that kind of stuff, that's a very sophisticated thing, and I think that does work really well. I just don't find the quality that good. Now, if you compare that to the Fathom product, and what I was really impressed with that is the ability for that tool to pick up the intent of a meeting, to summarize it, to give you action items, really good. And the integration with HubSpot, I also appreciate that. What I quite like is when it gives you the attendees, you have I've installed the app, so you've got the app on the top right corner now, for example, and it's got a list of attendees. And because I've integrated with HubSpot, it gives me the link to click on to take it to HubSpot for that person. It also gives me their LinkedIn profile if it's founded, which is very useful to me. But what's really cool at the end of the session is it takes the transcript from the meeting and puts that into HubSpot. And I get that as an activity. So from a seamless, and that's all in the free version. Like HubSpot's free, Fathom is free. The part that we're paying for, at least on my account, is the tasks and putting the tasks into HubSpot, which I haven't really played with too much. But just that, doing that for me is really cool. Because if I tell you about my personal productivity system, I have this thing called Due, where I would just write tasks all the time. One of my tasks is to do something with ChatGPT to go create tasks and then automate that into a task management tool. So it's solved that problem for me. So I think that's why it's really cool. I don't think it's expensive. I don't think either product is expensive. Now, the benefit of going up one level with Otter, for example, we went from 600 minutes to 6,000 minutes a month of transcribing. That's fairly useful. Now, I've used Otter for other things, like I do voice notes, and I have the voice notes automatically go through Otter and get transcribed. But that's less to go through ChatGPT to get tasks out of it or do something. So it's still a clunky product for me in a lot of ways, whereas I feel like Fathoms, even if they're Fathoms with less functionality, it's got more capability and more better. It's a more tuned capability. I think if anybody was interested to sort of chat about it, I mean, they're welcome to join our WhatsApp group or just email me directly or LinkedIn me and we can chat about it. So, I mean, here's a good example, right? So you see here, you highlighted your first call this week and earned 5 points. That gamification is really cool. And this was the other thing that I found really useful. So you got this little widgets on the screen, and it's a Fathom widget, and it's got a couple options: end, pause, recording, whatever. And then you got these. I've got 3 options by default: positive reaction, needs a review, feedback. So that's obviously the AI picking up context. But I've added 2 other ones: question and risk. Now, what can happen is while we're talking, I can press the button, say question, to capture you asking me a question. So then when I get my summary, it's picked out that as another category of the text. So all the questions, all the risk, those are my 2 extra ones, which I find really useful. And I'm still playing with it, but it's an opportunity to highlight text, highlight audio and video at the time. So they've added a thing now, which is a trial, is that you can be alerted based on keywords being said in the call.
Interesting.
And in your team calls. One of the things I did like about the Otter is that if I didn't attend a call and my Otter did, I would still get the transcript.
Yeah.
But with Fathom, I have to tell it to attend a call. So that's a slightly different thing. But it is quite useful because there were meetings I wouldn't attend or I'd be late for, and I'd get the transcript. And you can, like with Teams, for example, a lot of the products are coming up with their own note takers now. But I like something that's independent. But I mean, like Teams transcriptions are not bad, but they don't maybe with Copilot now they'll start doing what Fathom's doing, etc. But then you see if you talk to someone on Zoom and you've subscribed to the Microsoft ecosystem, you lose your note taker. So I think you have to have an external one. But this thing that's quite interesting is that if I don't attend those meetings with a team, but the team talks about something, so let's say they talk about client risk, I'd want to know about that. So then I can join in that call. I get an alert saying, oh, they're talking about this right now, join in. That's very clever.
That is cool.
This is the first time I've seen it. If you had to go pick between the 2 products, and it's not really a shootout per se, I would be recommending Fathom over Otter right now. The other thing that Otter did strangely a while ago is they started trying to bring other information and enrich your transcript. So if you mentioned tankers in the Red Sea, it would go find an article or something and put it into text. But I think in that respect, the note taking should just take the information and capture it as succinctly as possible and give you the actions out of it. The other thing that I think comes up quite a lot is certain customers don't like you to have note takers. So they aren't invited to the meeting. And I think this is where the hardware ones are going to come in, because people are going to, I mean, I rely on these things to take notes. I've got ADHD, so it really lines up with my neurodivergence. And I struggle to take notes and listen at the same time, especially because I become very dependent on the note takers. And that's why having it brought into HubSpot as a task thing is like huge for me, because I have tasks to do.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to see more and more hardware-driven ones.
Yeah, I think I've started using Otter in the past week since I've joined, and I think for just starting out, Otter's pretty good for the bare basics of it, you know? Just capturing the call, like at its simplest, at its finest, I think so far has been really helpful. But I think as I continue my journey, I think I will obviously move over.
And I think that is the thing. I think a lot of people start with Otter because that's definitely the most prodigious tool. And there's more than the three that I've mentioned. There's plenty of them. But I think what happens over time is people realize quite quickly that Otter, maybe, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's more expensive. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I definitely find that you question the value of it a lot and say, well, I'm paying for this thing, but is it actually giving me what I want? Okay. I mean, the nice thing is, it's put the text in the chat with the summary of what's going on.
Yeah.
To click on, and it has done the task thing fairly well. So they have improved it, I guess. I'm going to counteract what I said earlier on about I don't feel like the tool's improved, but I just feel like it's a clunky tool, and sometimes it's hard to shake that perception.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to see other product reviews, founders conversations, and podcast episodes.